This is a demonstration of the ShopFloorSave command and the commands necessary to get information to that point. This type of workflow is useful for integrations where we want to log work done to parts or assemblies in a job, but where the inventory for the fabrication shop isn't affected by this work. So for example, a welding station. If you haven't viewed the remote connection demo video yet, I recommend starting there. That code is included in this program example. That video will go over the beginning steps for your project, including creating an external user with login permissions and setting up and starting the remote server. Now we need to add permissions for that user to access production control jobs, and in production status to view summary, to view details, and to add information. Now that that is set up, let's run the demo program. Once we're connected to the database, we'll switch to the ShopFloorSave tab. Now we're ready for some real work. Suppose I'm a machine operator. I'm just finishing up a task on the machine, and I want to log my work back to Tekla PowerFab. Now, ideally, the machine will automatically log the work for me, but in this program demonstration, we're just going to show how that's done. First, I need to know what job my work is on. To get a list of jobs in Tekla PowerFab, we'll execute a command called get production control jobs. It will retrieve the jobs in the system and allow you to read some information about them. Here I can see the jobs that are in Tekla PowerFab. Now on the left, I can see the production control ID for each job. That's the number that I will need to return in other commands to let PowerFab know what job I'm working on. In our demo program, you can see what parts are ready to process through each station by calling get stations. Here we have the station name, and following that is a list of main marks that need to be processed through that station. You can see that the station correlates to these that we see in PowerFab Office. Now within this job, the parts are assigned routes to go through the fabrication shop. We can see what stations are on those routes in piece tracking. And also in production status. To mark a part as having been through a station, we need the main mark. The piece mark is optional. We need the station. We can just copy that string into the field. And the time that's spent on this step of fabrication. Also the quantity and the login of the person performing the work and the date. Now when I click ShopFloorSave, we'll be able to see what happens in PowerFab. We can click Get Stations again and see the remaining work. And we can process more. Once that work is processed, we can see the results in Tekla PowerFab. Now we'll jump to the code and look at what we need to retrieve the list of production control jobs. We create a request object and set the connection GUID, and create a get production control jobs command object and execute that request. The process for get stations is very similar. In the get stations command object, we set options to tell the system what production control ID we're interested in and what kind of data we want. And here I have selected include remaining to be true and include if previous station not completed to false. There are other options available, so be sure to check those out. And finally, the ShopFloorSave command. We populate the options here. Notice that one of the options that this command has is API log. We recommend that you set the value to all, like you see here. This tells Tekla PowerFab to store this command and its results in the API log, which makes troubleshooting significantly easier. Here in the API log, we can see our ShopFloorSave commands and get details on the actual information that was sent from the demo program and returned to it. This program and the XSD schema for the Tekla PowerFab Open API are available for you to download, and we at Tekla PowerFab are also available to answer questions that you may have as you develop the interface from your machine to Tekla PowerFab.